Wake up right now. Don't hit snooze on your life. You've already spent too many mornings letting your fears, your doubts, and your excuses run the show. That stops today, because every single morning you get two choices. Continue to live in the loop of yesterday's limitations, or break the pattern and build the life you actually want. Here are 6 things you must tell yourself every single morning before the world tries to convince you otherwise. That sentence right there, it's not a suggestion. It's not a nice affirmation to make you feel good. It's a truth bomb, a declaration. And if you start your day with it, really believe it, your life will start to look radically different. Every morning you wake up, there are going to be 1,000 things already pulling at you. Notifications, responsibilities, opinions, expectations, they're all coming. Before you even brush your teeth, the world is already trying to steal your attention and dictate your mood. But here's the truth. None of those things can control you unless you hand them the keys. And you've done that before, haven't you? You've let a text message ruin your morning. You've let traffic flip your mood. You've let someone's attitude make you question your own worth. But not today. Today, you take the power back. When you say, I'm in control of how this day goes, you are reminding yourself that life doesn't just happen to you, you respond to it. You're the driver, and that means it doesn't matter what time you woke up, what the weather's like, or what your bank account says right now. What matters is that your mindset, your internal world, is the thermostat. It sets the temperature and everything else adjusts. You get to decide how you approach today. You get to choose if you're going to complain or if you're going to take action. You get to choose whether you're going to scroll and waste another hour or focus and move one step closer to your goals. You don't need anyone's permission to do better. You don't need to feel perfectly motivated or totally ready. You just need to decide that you're in charge. Most people go through their days like passengers. They let their emotions steer the wheel. They let other people's energy determine their direction. One bad conversation, day ruined, one unexpected problem. Confidence shattered, but when you start your day with the words, I'm in control of how this day goes, you're cutting that nonsense off at the root. You're programming your brain to stop reacting and start responding. Look, stuff is going to happen. Plans will change, people will disappoint you, you'll get hit with surprise problems because that's life. But your response is everything. When you believe you're in control, you stop giving your power away to circumstances. You stop waiting for the day to go well. You make it go well by how you show up, how you adapt, and how you lead yourself. You're not always going to feel strong. You're not always going to feel motivated. But the good news is you don't need to. Power isn't about how you feel. It's about what you decide, and deciding to take control of your day. That's the first step to building confidence, building momentum, and building the life you keep saying you want. So the next time something throws you off course, remember you've got the wheel. You can pause. You can breathe. You can shift your perspective in a second. That's your superpower. You're not a victim of the morning or the mood or the mess. You're the one writing the story, and every single day is a blank page. Say it again. I'm in control of how this day goes. Now act like it. Say that out loud, not as a whisper, not as a maybe. Say it like you mean it. Because here's the truth, most of the chaos in your head doesn't come from what's actually happening in your life. It comes from your fear that you can't handle it. But guess what? You've already handled more than you give yourself credit for. Think about the heartbreaks you didn't think you'd survive, the failure that almost crushed you, the fear that kept you up at night, the anxiety that tried to convince you to quit. And yet here you are, still standing, still breathing, still trying. That's proof you don't need a perfect life. You need to start trusting your ability to handle the imperfect moments. Because life isn't going to suddenly become easier, the challenges won't magically disappear, but your mindset can make you stronger than any challenge. That's the real shift, not waiting for things to calm down, but knowing that no matter how loud, how messy, or how unexpected life gets, you've got what it takes. The problem is, we tend to panic before anything even happens. We live in the what ifs. What if I fail? What if they leave? What if I lose it all? And your brain, being the problem-solving machine it is, starts feeding you images and stories that make you freeze. It makes you doubt, it makes you want to hide, but here's the reality. Those stories are lies, they're exaggerated. They're survival instincts, not truth. And just because your brain is screaming doesn't mean it's right. Your job isn't to believe every fear. Your job is to challenge them with facts. And the facts are clear. You've handled hard before. You'll handle it again. When you tell yourself, I can handle whatever comes my way, you stop negotiating with fear. You stop trying to avoid discomfort. You stop obsessing over outcomes, and instead, you start trusting yourself. That's the power, that's the shift that builds confidence. Not pretending everything will go perfectly, but knowing that no matter how it goes, you'll figure it out. You'll adjust, you'll push through, you'll rise. Do you think the most powerful people in the world got there by avoiding pressure? No, they faced it. And most of them didn't know exactly how things would turn out either. But what they did know was this: they could handle it. They could take the heat. They could learn, adapt, bounce back, and show up again the next day. That's what separates those who rise from those who run. It's not talent. It's not luck. It's belief. It's grit. It's reminding yourself every single day that no matter what life throws, you're built to take the hit and keep moving. And here's the crazy part. Most of the things you're afraid of, they never even happen, and the ones that do, they never feel as bad as you imagined. Because when you're in it, when you're facing the thing, the survival mode kicks in. Your strength shows up, the clarity comes, you find the next step, and before you know it, you're on the other side, wondering why you doubted yourself at all. Don't wait to feel fearless. Just remind yourself that fear is part of the game, and handling it, walking through it, that's where your power lies. You don't need to know how the whole path unfolds. You just need to trust yourself to take the next step, handle the curveball, face the unknown, and keep going. Because you can, you always have, and you always will. Let's get one thing straight. The person who talks you out of your goals the most is you. Not your boss, not your parents, not your partner. It's that voice in your own head, the one that whispers, not today. The one that says, I'll start tomorrow. The one that's always got a reason to hit snooze, to skip the workout, to avoid the uncomfortable conversation, to shrink back instead of stepping up. And here's the wild part. That voice sounds so reasonable. It makes sense. It knows all the perfect reasons why you should stay in bed, stay silent, stay the same. But just because your excuses make sense doesn't mean they're true, and it definitely doesn't mean they're helping you. Every time you believe your excuses, you build the habit of self-betrayal, harsh, maybe, but it's real. You start training your brain that it's okay to back down from your own commitments. You become someone who doesn't trust their own word. And what does that cost you? Confidence, momentum, opportunities. You know what you need to do, but instead of doing it, you negotiate with yourself. You waste energy explaining why now isn't the right time, why you're tired, why it won't matter. But deep down, you know that every excuse is a brick you lay in the wall between you and the life you say you want. You don't need more motivation, you need more discipline. You need to catch that excuse in the act, the moment it pops up, and call it out for what it is, a lie. A story your brain is telling you because it's scared of discomfort, scared of effort, scared of failure. Your brain's job is to keep you safe, and safe means same. So every time you try to grow, change, evolve, that alarm goes off inside your mind. And instead of saying, let's do it anyway, you say, yeah, maybe later. But later becomes never, and never becomes regret. Here's the hard truth. If you don't challenge your excuses, they will control your life. You'll look back 6 months, a year, a decade from now and realize that it wasn't bad luck or lack of talent holding you back. It was your own damn hesitation. It was all the I'm too tired, I'm too busy, it's not the right time, lies that you believed over and over again. And that's the thing, you believed them. You gave them power, but now you get to change that. You have goals. You have dreams. You have potential, but none of it matters if you don't take action, and action doesn't wait for you to feel ready. Action doesn't ask if it's convenient. It just needs you to stop hesitating and move one small step. One bold decision, one time saying yes to yourself instead of your fears, that's how you take your power back. And it won't be comfortable. You're going to resist. Your brain is going to throw every excuse in the book at you. You'll hear just 5 more minutes. It's fine if I skip today. I'll do double tomorrow. And when you hear that, you say, nope, not this time, because that's how you shift your identity. That's how you stop being the person who almost did things, who nearly got there, who was always waiting for the perfect moment. That's how you become the person who does the thing even when it's hard, even when it's scary, even when it's inconvenient. You're not lazy, you're not broken. You've just been lied to by your comfort zone. But the good news is you're onto yourself now. And today you don't fall for it. Not the voice, not the delay, not the drama. Today you show up. You follow through, you take one step, and that's how the whole game changes. Let that sink in. You walk through this world thinking you're invisible. You think your story doesn't matter, your words don't matter, your presence doesn't matter. But here's the truth. You are carrying something that somebody else is desperately waiting for. You've got experience, insight, strength, and light, even if you don't see it yet, even if you've been down. Even if you've messed up 100 times, that doesn't make you weak. That makes you valuable, because your struggle is someone else's survival guide. Every scar you carry is proof that healing is possible. Every tear you've cried is a reminder that emotions don't kill us, they teach us. Every time you got back up, even when nobody was watching, is proof that resilience lives inside you. And there's someone out there right now who needs to see that, someone who feels like they're at the end, someone who's questioning their worth, someone who's ready to give up, and you, yes you, have something inside you that could shift everything for them. Maybe it's your voice, maybe it's your kindness, maybe it's the way you walk into a room and make people feel seen. Maybe it's the way you parent, the way you hustle, the way you love, the way you keep going. You don't have to be loud or famous or perfect to make an impact. You just have to be real. You just have to show up. The world doesn't need another filtered version of someone pretending to have it all together. It needs you, honest, raw, brave, even if your voice shakes. And here's the wild part. You may never know the impact you have. You may never hear the words, "You changed my life." You may never see the ripple effect of your actions. But it's happening every time you choose integrity over convenience, every time you choose growth over fear. Every time you choose to rise instead of quit, you become a living example of what's possible. And someone somewhere sees that. And they remember it can be done. You were not born to just survive. You were not born to live silently in the shadows, keeping your greatness locked up because you're afraid of judgment or rejection. You're not here to play small just because someone once made you feel like you weren't enough. You are here to lead, to lift, to live out loud. And when you believe that someone out there needs what you have, everything changes. You stop shrinking, you stop apologizing, you stop editing your truth to make other people comfortable. There are people right now who are praying for a solution, for a breakthrough, for a reason to keep going, and that reason might walk into their life through you. You have no idea how much your light matters, especially when you feel like it's dim. But sometimes a single match in the dark is all someone needs to find their way. So don't hold back. Don't wait until you're ready. Don't wait until you feel qualified. Your value isn't in your perfection, it's in your realness. It's in your willingness to show up despite the fear. Someone out there is waiting for you to speak, to create, to love, to lead, and your silence doesn't serve them. You've got something unique, something powerful, something necessary, and the moment you stop hiding, you give them permission to rise too. That's it. That's the mindset that will save you from drowning in overwhelm, procrastination, and guilt. Because here's what most people do. They wake up thinking about everything they should do, all the goals they haven't hit, all the weight they haven't lost, the money they haven't made, the dreams they haven't chased. It becomes this loud, chaotic storm of not enough. And before their feet even hit the ground, they're already defeated. But here's the truth: you don't need to do everything. You just need to do something. And more importantly, you need to do the right thing, the thing you can control right now, today. When you focus on what you can do today, you take your power back. You stop trying to control outcomes you can't predict. You stop obsessing over what other people are doing, thinking, saying, or achieving. You stop paralyzing yourself with the pressure of perfection. You stop waiting for motivation. You start moving, because guess what? Big goals don't require massive leaps every day. They require tiny, consistent, focused steps, and you can take one of those steps today. You don't need to solve your entire life before lunch. You just need to ask, what's one thing I can do that will move me forward? What's one thing I can finish that builds momentum? What's one habit I can practice today that will make tomorrow easier? That's how confidence is built, not by fantasizing about the finish line, but by lacing up your shoes and taking that first damn step. And let's be real, there will always be 100 things calling for your attention: your phone, your doubts, your to-do list, the comparison trap, the fear of failing, the regret of yesterday. All of it will try to rob you of today's opportunity. And unless you choose to block that noise and narrow your focus, you'll stay stuck in the same cycle, busy but not productive, tired but not fulfilled, moving but going nowhere. You deserve better than that, but it starts with what you choose to focus on. This isn't about doing it all. It's about doing one thing well. It's about learning to say, this is what I can control today: my effort, my mindset, my time, my attitude, and that's where I'm putting my energy. Because everything else, that's a distraction. That's wasted mental energy. That's you chasing your tail instead of making progress. And don't you dare tell yourself that one small step won't matter. It matters more than you know, because action creates momentum, and momentum builds identity. Every time you follow through, even on the smallest task, you're proving to yourself that you're the kind of person who shows up, who gets things done, who follows through. And the more you build that identity, the easier it becomes to tackle the next thing, and the next, and the next. This is how people win, not by doing more, but by doing what matters consistently. They don't get stuck in the paralysis of someday. They don't waste their mornings in guilt about what they didn't do yesterday. They start where they are with what they have, and they do what they can. That's it, and over time, those small daily actions stack up into massive results. Today, not tomorrow, not next week, you look at your life and you ask, what's within my control? Then you put your head down and you do that. No drama, no excuses, no overwhelm, just clarity, effort, and trust in the process. You don't need a miracle, you need focus, and you've had it in you this whole time. I'm proud of myself for showing up. Say it even if it feels weird. Say it even if your life isn't perfect right now. Say it even if you feel behind, tired, or stuck. Because here's what nobody tells you. Showing up is half the battle. Actually, scratch that, it's the whole damn war sometimes. When everything in you wants to stay in bed, when your mind is flooded with doubts, when your heart is heavy, when no one's clapping, when nobody sees the fight you're in, and you still choose to show up, that's power, that's courage, that's the kind of strength that builds unstoppable people. Most people don't show up. Most people hide behind excuses. They wait for the perfect time. They wait to feel ready. They wait until they're not scared anymore. And while they wait, their life stands still, but not you. You're here, you're reading this, you're trying. That counts, that matters, because every time you choose to show up, even imperfectly, you're creating evidence. Evidence that you're resilient, evidence that you care, evidence that you're not giving up, no matter what your circumstances are telling you. We live in a world obsessed with results. Did you hit the goal? Did you lose the weight? Did you make the money? And if the answer is no, people assume you're failing, but that's not true. Results don't always come immediately. But effort, that's instant, and effort is what changes your identity. You start becoming the person who doesn't quit, the person who honors their commitments, the person who takes one more step when it would be easier to stop. That's the real win. You don't have to have it all figured out. You don't have to move mountains every day. Some days, just getting out of bed is a win. Some days, choosing not to numb yourself, choosing to face your problems, choosing to be a little bit better than yesterday, that's everything. And when you do that, when you show up to your life even when it's messy, painful, or uncertain, you're rewriting the story. You're refusing to be a victim of your circumstances. You're saying, I'm still here, I'm still trying, and that's something to be damn proud of. Stop minimizing your effort just because it doesn't look flashy or impressive. Stop shaming yourself because you're not moving as fast as someone else. Progress isn't linear. Healing isn't linear. Growth isn't always visible, but the act of showing up, that's the seed, that's the thing that compounds, that's the habit that rewires your brain and redefines your life. You've been through things that people don't even know about. You've carried invisible battles. You've fought with fear, insecurity, self-doubt, and still, you got up and tried again. And that deserves recognition, not from the world, not from Instagram, from you. Because if you don't acknowledge your effort, you'll burn out chasing validation from everyone else. But when you look in the mirror and say, I'm proud of me, something inside you shifts. You stop hustling for your worth. You stop performing. And you start operating from self-respect instead of self-doubt. You're not weak for struggling. You're strong because you keep going despite the struggle. You're not lazy. You're exhausted. You're not broken. You're becoming. And every single day, you choose to participate in your own life, to try again, to take the next step, to believe when it would be easier not to. You're proving that you're not done, that you're still in the ring, and that's why you should be proud. So yes, say it out loud. I'm proud of myself for showing up, because you should be.